The year 1521 was significant in Europe, which was shaken by Martin Luther's challenge to both the emperor, concurrently, Spanish King Charles V, and the Roman Catholic Church, headed by Pope Leo X. Welcome to Herodotus TV. For this video, we will discuss the influence of the Spaniards in the Philippines. This was also the year of the conquest of Mexico, almost 3 decades after Christopher Columbus had landed in what would be called the Americas. In the 16th century, the Philippines would be envisioned as a base from which Spain could conquer Asia, just as it was beginning to do in Latin America. A Portuguese recalcitrant navigator, Ferdinand Magellan, was commissioned by the King of Spain to explore a transatlantic and Pacific route to Asia, to rival that of the Portuguese. These unprecedented events in human history were to be followed in March 1521 by the arrival of Ferdinand Magellan in Samar and Leyte, and a martial encounter with native chieftain Lapu-Lapu on the island of Mactan, Cebu. An attempt by Magellan to intervene in a local conflict resulted in his death in combat and the beginning of Spanish influence in what would be known as the Philippine Islands. This fatal trip would continue and end in the first circumnavigation of the world captained by Sebastian Elcano with the survivors of Magellan's original crew, who landed back in their point of Spain in 1522. The chronicle written by Antonio de Pigafetta was the first written record of the history and culture of the Filipinos on Magellan's arrival. The Boxer Codex gives us today the first images of these Filipinos from the 16th century. The conquest of the Philippines was led by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, who succeeded in subjugating Manila and laying the foundation of the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade. The Philippines had been rich in gold and had many local products sought after in the Chinese mainland. But no local power had yet envisioned unifying the islands or establishing a superpower to reign over all the small barangays. The following may be deemed to be the principal effects of the Spanish influence of 333 years. Number 1. The definition of the geographical and political configuration of the Philippines corresponds to the area falling under Spanish rule for 333 years. This was named the Philippine Islands and subsequently, the Philippines, in honor of then Prince of Asturias, and later King, Philip. Number 2. The conversion of the majority of inhabitants of the archipelago to Christianity with an important Muslim minority, principally in Mindanao, and animists in remote areas. Christianity in the Philippines incorporated beliefs and practices from these earlier religions. The Roman Catholic Church still plays a major role in the Philippines, with Protestant and evangelical sects coming into play. This is not surprising since the friar orders including the Dominicans, Franciscans, Recollects, Augustinians, Capuchins, and the Jesuits played a major role in the evangelization of the Philippines. Number 3. The transformation of Manila into the Central Asian node of the galleon trade between Mexico and the Philippines, which was the entrepot gathering products from Asia for export to Latin America and Europe, for 250 years. Spain established the oldest Asian university, Santo Tomas, in the Philippines in 1611 and introduced the first Asian public school system beginning in 1863. Number 4. The awakening of nationalism and awareness of the Filipinos as a separate political entity, as led by Dr. Jose P. Rizal and fellow members of the propaganda movement of intellectuals and activists in Spain and the Katipunan secret society in the Philippines. This event was inspired by the Constitution of Cadiz and the liberal movements that shook Spain in the 19th century. Filipino youth from the Principalia studying in Spain led this movement. The execution of Rizal on December 30, 1896, triggered the Philippine Revolution, which was led by local nationalists such as Andres Bonifacio as well as patriots from the elite and middle class, such as the Luna brothers, Gregorio del Pilar, and Martin Tinio. Philippine independence from Spain was declared in Kawit, Cavite by General, and later President, Emilio Aguinaldo. The Filipinos sought an alliance with the United States of America, not aware of the latter's plan to establish itself among the Western colonial powers. Number 5. Spanish influence is evident today in law, religion, education, language, family names, architecture, the arts, music, cuisine, and customs which have been adopted and blended into the present-day Philippine culture. There is now a movement by the Philippine government to preserve and maintain heritage sites, while heritage groups and young Filipinos seek to revitalize aspects of Phil-Hispanic literature and language and Phil-Hispanic culture through its built heritage. The Philippines and Spain have become closer in the modern era, with many reciprocal visits of their heads of state to each other's countries. The reconstruction of Fort Santiago and Intramuros, as well as the survival of many monuments from the Spanish past, including several in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites, have ensured that the shared history of the Philippines and Spain will not be forgotten.